Good afternoon. Welcome to the Livingston Parish regular scheduled council meeting. Today is August 27, 2026 at 6 p.m. Tonight we have the Councilman Mangus has the invocation. I think it's Father Matthew. So, Father Matthew, please stand.
Yeah, everybody please stand.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Holy Father, we give you thanks and praise on this day, as all things are in your hands, but also you have given us a share in that governing. All the way we see through Moses, to King David, to Solomon, to you, Lord, calling your apostles and handing things on to them. But above all, how you handed on your gifts, especially of wisdom, of counsel, of understanding, and knowledge. We ask an outpouring of the Holy Spirit upon all present here today, especially our council members, as they have been tasked with the governing of your people in this local area. You give them wisdom to see as you do, Lord, understanding and knowledge, and finding ways to better build your kingdom here and now, and meeting the needs of our people. We ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Sandy, call the roll.
Mr. Watts. Here. Ms. Sandifer. Here. Mr. Mangus.
Here.
Mr. Shavers. Here. Mr. Goff. Mr. Goff. Here. Mr. Wascom.
Here.
Mr. Coates. Here. Mr. Erdy.
Here.
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
All present.
All present. All right, as a reminder, please mute your cell phones. If you have to take a phone call, please exit the chamber and take it in the lobby. Anybody wishing to address any agenda item, we ask that you fill out a card. We'll give you 3 minutes on that card. If you feel that you need to speak on an agenda item and you did not fill out a card, we'll give you 2 minutes on that. If you ask any questions, we'll address those questions after your time's elapsed and you've sat down. If the council wishes to do so, please address the council, nobody in the audience, and please be respectful. All right, presentations. We're going to go a little out of order. Senator Valerie Hodges. She did a lot of work this last season and got us some money. And so, if you wouldn't mind, tell us all about it.
Well, thank you. It is an honor to be here. It is an honor to represent Livingston Parish. And tonight, I just want to thank Parish President Randy DeLatte, and I want to thank all of the council members for being here and having this resolution. And you guys know that we have worked together as a legislative delegation as a team. And so I think the resolution is about the radios, if I'm not mistaken. And so we were able to get funding for the N70 radios for law enforcement and firefighters, because that literally can be the difference between life and death is the communication. And so it was an honor for me to be able to fight for that money and get that money for our first responders and our firemen. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who represent Livingston Parish. And for the first time, I feel like we're all working together as a team. And we are equipping our firefighters, law enforcement, to protect our citizens. And so I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be here tonight.
Thank you. And Ms. Sandy, will you read that by title?
Is this the addendum?
This is the addendum.
Okay, this is to adopt a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Livingston Parish Council and the Livingston Department of Treasury and the state of Louisiana to administer Act 3 of the 2026 regular legislative session, state aid to local government entities, funding for the purchase of radios for first responders.
All right, and that amount looked like it's $230,000. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. God bless you. God bless Livingston Parish and the United States of America.
All right, Mr. Mickey. Mr. Mickey?
So Senator Hodges is here just for the radios, but there's a list on number 12. She was instrumental in all of those funding too. So just wanted to say it wasn't just one thing, it was many things.
Well,
and we
you.
really appreciate what you do for Livingston Parish.
Thank you. I look forward to doing it a lot longer, a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to make that motion.
Oh yeah, we got to make the motion.
Yep. All right, so we got a motion by Councilman Coates,
I'll second it.
second by Councilman Mangus. Was there anybody here to speak for or against this? I'm gonna open the floor. All right, I'm gonna close. All right, go ahead and cast your vote. Councilman Lonnie. All right, that passed unanimous. All right. All right. All right, so back to presentations. We are going to, Livingston Parish New Teachers of the Year 2025, 2026. This is the second half of the list from last week. I'm going to give it over to Councilman Chambers.
Did any, just to make this as short as possible, did any of the if any of the teachers came, can you stand up? Okay, well, we have your award. Congratulations. And what's your name? Bridget Wallace. Okay. We're going to give you your award, and then you want to go down there with her? Okay, we're going to come down and take a picture with you.
Okay. Councilman Chambers, you want to?
Already? I'm blocking.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Where do you teach?
At Levi Milton Elementary.
Fantastic.
Thank you for what you do every single day. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I want to say one thing. I just wanted to say for all the teachers that serve in Livingston Parish, thank you. It's a thankless job. We had an entire list of all the teachers that we have awards for, and we do plan on giving those awards out. But thank you for everything that you do and all the teachers. My sister is a teacher, and I see the hours that she puts in after school, tutoring, staying at the school. So thank you very much for what you do for our kids and in our schools. Yep.
Thank you, Councilman Chambers. All right. B, update on the progress and status of the Livingston Parish Drainage Master Plan. Mr. Gary O'Neill. You don't look like Gary.
Check ID.
All right, go ahead and state your name for us. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. Did you touch it? You touched it. Don't touch it. Here, let him do the
Sorry.
Sorry.
All right. Can y'all hear me? All right. My name is Stephen Crawford. I'm with HAF, representing the HAF team on the Drainage Master Plan updates this evening. I'm not Gary O'Neill, but he is here today. We also have Jenny Schober, Andrew Moore on the HAF team, and Mario from GEC is also here as well. Our update on the Drainage Master Plan is things are going really well. We're making very good progress, and we want to give you all an update tonight and let y'all ask any questions that you have of us at this moment. Give us any feedback that you have. We'd really appreciate it as we move forward. All right, so where are we at today? We started this program back in 2025, and we've accomplished many milestones throughout the process. Our major thing we accomplished in 2025 is getting Livingston Parish back into the CRS program. We also completed our field data collection that we needed for our models and mapping. And we initiated our initial public and stakeholder outreach plan and program. Moving into 2026, we've accomplished 3 major tasks so far this year. The first one was the implementation of a new drainage criteria manual for the parish. We completed a 5-year asset management plan. We're working with Robert and the Public Works Group. We're going to revisit that in 2027 to see progress, see how it's going, and make any adjustments that we have. One of our major things is we completed recently all of our modeling and mapping updates across the parish. So this includes all the streams in the Amite River Basin portion of the parish on the west side and all the Tickfaw River streams on the east side. Our next steps is really moving into identifying drainage problems across the parish. Those problems are based on a number of factors and also based on the new mapping that we've created. From that, we're going to work on developing solutions across the parish to help improve resiliency across the parish. And then we're going to continue our stakeholder and public outreach programs and then prepare our drainage master plan for the parish. We're going to have an initial draft for review, and our goal is really to complete the drainage master plan process in about a year's time. So we want to finish that around August of 2027, and then that gives some time for the parish to do their closeout activities for the state for the grant program. And the final date is November 2027. So just a couple of slides here to kind of show you some updates on our mapping and modeling progress. As you can see here, this shows the FEMA mapping, which is the current effective mapping for the parish. On the left side images kind of shows that mapping. The right side is our new map. So as you can see, in generally it follows that same kind of mapping outline, but it's more defined. There's more definition. We're able to get more data to give better information to the parish to use for planning or identifying where drainage problems exist. And that's going to help us moving forward as we push forward in the drainage master plan. There's also a comparison to the Louisiana Watershed Initiative for the mapping itself. So again, we're not starting from scratch. We're using previous models and working with those models, leveraging the information in those models to help create better models for the parish. So our models include surveyed stream crossings across the parish, and it gives more definition. So as you can see here, they kind of look the same, but on the right side, our new mapping that we've created for the parish shows some areas where there's floodplain decreases from where LWI showed. And that's really for new like structures, things like that we've been able to identify and survey. So taking this information, we're going to move into the next steps, which is really our drainage problem identification. What we're trying to do right now is gather data and process that data across the parish, looking at a number of different flood risk items, developing a flood risk index. As you can see across the bottom part of the page there, that flood risk index includes structures, people, population, roadways, evacuation routes, and critical facilities that are impacted by flooding across the parish. We've created some of that data for the Amite River Basin portion of the parish, and we just got finished with the Tickfaw River modeling, so we're starting to look at that information all the way across the parish. This is a little bit more of a breakdown of what that bigger picture looks like. That flood risk index, again, includes the critical facilities, and again, the dots on the page are kind of where those intersect where floodplain is located. So you can see critical facilities. We kind of look at the Amite River. We're going to add more facilities that are in the Chickasaw Basin. We look at population flooding, so that's where population centers are affected by flooding. That third picture is roadways. So roadways are a big item that we need to look at in terms of how flooding impacts our roadways across the parish. And then finally, it's that structure flooding. So all those together, we'll look at all those factors together to help look at where our drainage problems exist and how to prioritize them. Once we prioritize them, we can move into the actual solution development and start creating solutions for the parish. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Gary Young, who's going to give us an update on our stakeholder and public outreach, what we've accomplished recently, and where we're kind of going in the future. Gary?
Okay. Gary O'Neill, 20224 Gardens Court, Walker, America. I can still talk? Oh, okay. I thought you were telling me to stop. Yep. Stephen, the smart guy, came into town to explain to you all the cool stuff we're doing in the Drainage Master Plan, but he did feel bad for stealing all my thunder. So he's like, I'll let you have a couple slides at the very end there. So appreciate that, Steve. No, so I think you guys saw a lot of the data that we're producing. We're about to get to the point where we're going to try to figure out where to aim our investments. We know what water's doing in the parish now. We've got models to back it up. Now we need to make decisions and prioritize how we invest that money. But one of the other things that we're doing as a part of the Drainage Master Plan is build some funding in here so that the public can better understand what we're doing and how we're doing it. And one of the ways we call that outreach. But I don't know if you guys looked at the parish's website over the past few weeks, the parish social media channels, but we put together a small video, about 4.5 minutes, where we kind of paid attention to and paid homage to what happened and the impacts of 2016, and then pivoted it towards what we're doing and how we're investing and trying to make sure that the severity of an event like that never really has the same type of impact on our parish. So that's just the front page of it right there. I think the link's on a subsequent slide, but you can look on the parish government's website, on Instagram, and on Facebook and LinkedIn and some other places. We tried to share that far and wide and gave the public a chance to kind of see what we're doing and how we're doing it. So hopefully none of this is being recorded because we're having voice problems. So, but I did want to go over, we did put together a real high-level public outreach, like a timeline, and that yellow public outreach floodplain mapping, that's sort of where we are right now. And so some technical coordination meetings where we talk to our folks, our other stakeholders in the parish. Now that we've got our modeling done, and we start to try to identify where those investments should be made, we get feedback from you guys, from drainage districts, from the parish, and from other folks to find out where those hot spots are. This is what our modeling is saying. What are you guys telling us? And we start to put together a plan on where to, like I said, aim those investments. You'll continue to see public outreach like this. We had our Drainage Master Plan meeting earlier today, and we talked about outreach, and I think Robert had a fantastic idea, which is the public hears a lot of terms like mitigation, resilience, adaptation, or bench cuts, right, in terms of like project types or whatnot. I think there's going to be a ton of value from an outreach perspective, the parish educating the populace and the stakeholders out there and the residents on what those terms mean and what we're doing and why we're doing it, so that everybody's reading from the same sheet of music. There's less confusion, there's more understanding, and overall this plan stops being just I hate to say it, if you printed it out, it would be like a municipal doorstop, but it starts to become something that they understand the importance behind, and they understand what's going on as a result of it. And so you'll see that coordination and that outreach go out throughout the rest of this year and next year. Also think you'll see a ton of it happen on social media. We're going to try to meet people where they are, because everybody and their brother's got a phone in their hand 24/7, 365. You'll see a lot of social media content and explanations and videos and things like that come out as we hit each subsequent point. As we get a project that comes out of that plan, we'll talk about that plan. We'll explain to people why it's important, how it benefits them, all that good stuff. So that's about it for the outreach piece. Stephen, thank you very much for it's our presentation, but if y'all have any questions, I know y'all saw some pictures of maps.
Councilman Shavers?
Yeah, you brought up a really good point about educating as far as like words like mitigate and all that stuff. Constituents just know their property floods, right? They don't know where the water's coming from. I mean, they see development, and that's what they assume, or they see clogged ditches, that's what they assume. But there's more of a deeper area as to why that may be happening. It's like a trickle effect of why their property may be flooding. So I appreciate you using that term and doing more of an education with the constituents and just kind of letting them know, like, we understand you may not know these terms, but this is what they mean, and this is how they will affect you. So I appreciate that.
And Ryan, what I would tell you is that's a great point. Number one, thank you. You can thank Robert for that. Robert had a great idea. We started that conversation during today's meeting. We were talking about outreach. But I would tell your residents again, you can access the parish's website. There is a drainage master plan website where residents can input where the problems are or what they're seeing. They can upload photos. And as part of our public outreach, when we see those, we can say, well, actually, your issue is upstream. Your issue is here at this culvert. It was missized, or it settled over time, and we're actually going to address that here at this time. So yes, you're seeing it, but what you're really seeing is a problem upstream or downstream because something is not moving the way it should. So it's creating backflooding for you. So
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mangus?
Yes, I concur with Mr. Shavers as far as the education goes. We have a gentleman in the district that I represent that was on the news earlier this week, and just looking at the social media posts, one of the problems is the fact that the people don't understand the law, unfortunately, and they don't know why subdivisions can be built at a certain height or what you can bring in for fill and BFE, 2 feet, and X and AE. And I know you've had many public meetings. Can we have like an ombudsman or someone who can just answer that besides me?
So what I would tell you is if I'm a certified floodplain manager. Stephen is a very talented engineer. So is Andrew. So is Mario. That's on our team. We have a lot of very smart people doing it. It's a lot to try to figure out, and it's a complicated calculus to explain to somebody why that's going on or what those ordinances are that aren't up here, that aren't at an ordinance committee meeting. But we are committed, and I think thanks to Robert and the administration, I think we're going to put more effort into outreach to explain those concepts, whether it's floodplain management, whether it's why we're investing in things, from a drainage, like why are we doing one project over another? Why is this part of the parish getting this funding and not us? We're going to try to put a lot of effort and a lot more into the outreach piece to explain that to people in a way that we can reach them where they are. So
yes, that would be excellent. That in explaining how federal laws affect us. We can't supersede federal laws, and when they define what a wetland is, and they make the determinations on how you can Loma out, and we can't do that. So,
yep.
I would just
Thank
like
you.
to add that, now that we have the floodplain mapping kind of completed across the parish, that's going to be an easier tool or a better tool to convey that message out to the citizens when they have those questions. We have the really good data to back it up. So it's taken us to this point to get that done, but now from here moving forward through the rest of the process, we have really good information to use.
Thank you, Councilman Mangus. Councilman Goff?
I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. First and foremost, transparency, but bad communication and languages that people like myself and all kind of get confused with. So I appreciate Robert emphasizing that basic ground to earth, how do we do this, and being transparent to the people of what we're trying to accomplish. I think they're getting there. I want to commend you, Gary, because I remember multiple meetings sitting in here, whether it be ordinances or different things, and you being in an audience, and I can see you shaking your head type thing, or you're saying, yeah, that's right, because it was still confusion then and kind of the direction that we needed to be going in. And I commend the administration for grabbing this thing by the hand, by the head, and really getting us to a point where we can get some credits back and get some good information, that instead of just trying to shoot at the problem with a shotgun, we can really start pinpointing rifle shots. And we can also pinpoint issues out in the real time with people. They have the ability to communicate to us, and I know you say, oh, well, your problem's up here, but they liable to give us a problem that we don't know nothing about. But if we don't know, we can't do anything about it. But again, you've said in many, many meetings, and I know your heart's in this parish, and I just wanted to say thank you from my standpoint and your company and all the brains that you have behind you for the effort that you've brought us. I appreciate it.
There are people with many more acronyms behind their last name than me that are really responsible for all this. I'm just the guy up front here that lives in Livingston helping them, so I appreciate it.
Thank you for everything that you've done and continue to push everything out. So the information. And if anybody else, we'll move on to the next presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Keep Livingston Beautiful, Love Our Waterways campaign, Kathleen Abels.
Well, I want to thank y'all for allowing me to be here tonight. My name is Kathleen Abels with the Livingston Parish Tourism Office and Keep Livingston Beautiful. And I can have Miss Linda come up here and join me. Her and Eric brought me on to the Keep Livingston Beautiful board about 2 years ago. And it's something I'm very passionate about. And we are excited to actually introduce Love the Waterways in Livingston Parish. Keep the Waterways Beautiful. The Lieutenant Governor has designated the month of September as Love the Waterways. So we come together as a committee and a group to actually put a campaign together. We want to just kind of give you a little fun facts about Livingston Parish. If you leave out the Tickfaw River, the diversion, or the A-Meet, go into Lake Marpaw, go in through Manchac, the pass, go out to Lake Punch Train, and you enter into the Gulf. Where else can you go to do that? So we have an absolutely wonderful place here in Livingston Parish, so we want to keep it clean. So we come together with Keep Livingston Beautiful, and also the Livingston Parish Tourism Office did a $5,000 sponsorship with the state to help make these things happen. So what we want to do is we want to encourage the communities to come together and meet us on September 12th. 7:30 a.m. starts registration. We will have 8 a.m. prayer pledge and a safety meeting. So these are the places you can meet. Riverside Marina in Killian, Canal Bank in Marpaw, Black Lake Club in Marpaw, and Manny's. These are all the places that you can come and show up and volunteer. We invite all size boats, small, medium, and large. We can use them all. You don't have to have a boat to participate. We're going to need people on land. We need people to be at the registration table. When the trash comes in or the tires, whatever we may bring in, we want to be able to have people there to be able to record that, because we're going to turn around and turn that back into the state. So we just invite everyone, families, friends, come together. It's going to be a fun day. Around 12 o'clock, we're going to get people to start coming back in. We have a jambalaya that's being donated at every stop, and we also have had waters donated. So we will supply everything from the bags, gloves, grabbers, and net. So we have tried to cover it all, but what we need is volunteers that day. So if y'all can encourage your communities to come out to one of those areas, come and join us, and I think we'll have a really nice cleanup day. Oh, and we also want to encourage our students to come out. Football teams, baseball teams, basketball teams, Boy Scouts. Anybody that has service hours, we want them to come out and join us. We encourage families. And what we decided to do to kind of make it a little more family friendly, and we all know where it starts. It starts with our young children. It starts with training them about litter. So we are going to have a kids trash bash tournament. So each child will have from the age 2 to 12 the opportunity to bring in trash. So whoever brings in the most, each stop will have a prize, first, second, third. They will get a medal, and then we have a gift certificate for them. So we want to teach them how important it is, and then be a family friendly. But again, you don't have to have a boat to do this. We need hands-on on land also. So, and I do want to thank the parish president for bringing the litter abatement to the forefront, because it has made a difference. Randy DeLatte and Jason Ord have come together, and now we have 5 days of picking up litter, not when they could get them out. So it's a 5-day program now. So that has made a huge difference in our parish, and you can tell the difference. Now we just want to carry it into our waterways. So we just, if y'all can encourage your family members and friends and your neighborhoods, HOAs, please do so. And we're gonna have press release coming out. We didn't yet. Remember this when you're out there selling your parish, because that's my job, is to sell the parish, to bring visitors here. We have 400 miles of navigable waterways. So that is huge for this area. So do y'all have any questions for us? Because we're just really excited.
Councilwoman
September
Centerford
12th.
has a question for you.
I do.
Okay.
So, where I think I'm confused by this, and I need it clarified because you know I'm big on litter pickups. Where do I sign up? Do I sign up? I know Miss Linda, you told me to sign up on the state website, right? Do I sign up there?
If you were going to do an event, like for yourself, yes, you would do that. But if you're just going to come and help us, you can sign up at any one of these boat launches. And
So-
you can choose.
It was, if you go on the state level, it would be signing up as an event.
As an event,
So you
okay,
would
like
come to one
like
of
a
those
litter
4
pickup,
stops,
like I
and you
do.
would sign up with us.
Okay, so for the people, so I'm just going to volunteer. I'm not going to sign up to host an event because
Right.
that's not my area, but I do want to participate. So John Q. Public wants to volunteer. Is it on your Facebook page?
Yes. we
The-
have our
the-
Keep
the
Livingston
instructions
Facebook
for that?
page, And then we're also, it's going to be on the parish president's page. So we're getting it out and we're sharing it. So the press release will be coming out, and we have 4 stops. So that's what we're encouraging. We're going to hit those 4 stops. You can show up at Riverside Marina, Canal Bank, Manny's, or Black Lake Club.
Just show up.
Just show up.
We're
and
going to be on land and water
Yeah,
for
and
this
we're gonna
pickup.
put you to
Okay,
work.
great. I'm
So
excited.
once we get the amount of boats we know, if somebody has some room on their boat and you would like to go, you can do that. And we're going to have plenty to do on land. Registering people, keeping up with the trash that's coming in, because after the event, we then record it and turn it into the state. And I really feel like our campaign in Livingston Parish is going to shine this year with the love of the waterways.
Yes.
And we have T-shirts, and like I said, the supplies will be there. You don't have to worry about bringing that.
Just
and we're
show
going to
up.
provide waters, food. So we just need you to show up and volunteer.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for what for
Any other
doing it.
questions?
We've got
Well,
one
we're going to
coming
roll
down
right
here
into
by the
Miss.
waterways.
We're going to roll right into Miss Linda Gardner. She's got the next presentation.
There you go.
So I'm really, really excited about this. It's something that we've been talking about for the last couple months. If you see, we have 2 signs right here. You can see them. I put one on each side. You can see the signage. This is under our LA statute. You should all have copies of that because I did send that in my packet. It's kind of lengthy,
grab
so you
that sign
probably
real
want to
quick?
read it today.
Grab this sign.
Yeah, right there. So thank you. So our parish was one of the parishes chosen to get 25 of each of these signs. These are our bigger signs than I really thought they were, because I'll tell you, I thought they were going to be the really little bitty signs, which I was still excited about that. When I got there, I brought my car. I didn't bring stuff for long poles to put these big old signs up. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we have a deputy director over our DPW that knows all about this stuff, because that's who I need to go to talk to about laws and things and ordinances and things like that. I'm here to present these signs. These were given to us by Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungasser. These are for Livingston Parish. They started going up at the boat docks yesterday. They're going to be at all of our boat docks. I'm going to need you guys to email me and let me know where you need some of these signs. And I'll tell you, one of the signs I know is going to be off Willie Harris Road, right there, huh, Ernie? That's right. It's going to be there. And if anybody else has signs you want somewhere, you just let us know about it. And I'm going to have Mr. Robert kind of explain the statute and then how we're going to operate it.
So yeah, Miss Linda had come to me, and so this is a revised statute under the Louisiana Administrative Code. So we don't need an ordinance like we do another regular regulatory sign, because it's a state statute. So basically, this sign can be put anywhere. So that's what we want to make sure everybody understood, that, you know, this is falls under the state. I think we looked it up. The fine fee does go back to the state litter program. So, but any law enforcement officer can write a citation part because of the way it's in a statute. So we just wanted to make sure y'all understood that part of it.
So the third offense on the litter, is going to be $2,500. So you think about that. From $500 for the first offense, and it goes all the way up to 2,500. And then as far as our dumping, illegal dumping, we're talking about one bag of trash, 1 or 2 tires, up to $10,000. This should make a difference in our parish. And Mr. Rady has worked very hard for this parish to get it cleaner, to get it more beautiful, and to make it more vibrant. And because we are the sportsman's paradise, you think about it, we have 400 nautical miles in this parish that people enjoy every weekend or every day when they go fishing or whatever they do. And that's why we're here. We're here to make our parish safe. We're here to make our parish beautiful. And we want to make our parish litter-free. We want people to be proud when they drive through here and they see how much we have tried to make a difference in the litter in this parish. And it starts with our children, our students, and our biggest thing too is enforcement. And we are getting enforcement. We've had over 60 bumpers since January of this year that have been left, that our trustees have picked up on interstates and different places. There is no reason when we have the roadways that go out, they get chosen by a list, and they go out and they clean up these. They're not cleaning them up. They're getting paid, but they're not cleaning them up. So there's no reason why we should have bumpers everywhere that you go. If you find a bumper, give me a call, because I will have someone come get it for you. But we do have this problem, and we still all have to work together to make sure this happens. So I've got with the sheriff, I've got with our parish president, and they're going to get together, and we're going to do something about these bumpers, because it's a problem now because it's all made of plastic. So you see them everywhere. They fall off, you can't put them back on. So that is a big deterrence in our parish right now.
It is. Councilman Erdy.
Yes, me and Ms. Gardner, we've been talking quite regular, working together to, and in particular my area, because that's where I'm at, and we have some really rough spots. But, excuse me, trying to be fair about it, the weather has been enormously hot, and we agreed the other day that we would do a major cleanup in a certain area, but we took into consideration the heat on the people doing the cleanup, and we decided to wait till later in the month for the weather to cool down, and then we're going to dive into it and get the places cleaned up. And I think that's a good thing, because it's just too rough on people walking in roads all day in that heat. So we're going to wait till the end of the month. So we good on that. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Linda, I'd like to thank you personally for everything that you do, and I'll call you after this. I got plenty of places to put those signs, and I love that they're that big. So you can't say you didn't see it. They're there.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate all of you.
Thank you. All right. B, proclamation to declare August 31st, 2026 as Overdose Awareness Day. Miss Sandy, will you read that?
Proclamation Overdose Awareness Day, August 31st, 2026. Whereas overdose continues to impact individuals, families, and communities throughout Livingston Parish, Louisiana, and across the nation, claiming lives regardless of age, background, or circumstance, and whereas International Overdose Awareness Day is observed annually on August 31st to remember those who have lost their lives to overdose, acknowledge the grief of families and loved ones, and reduce the stigma associated with substance use disorders, and whereas substance use disorder is a treatable medical condition and recovery is possible through prevention, education, timely intervention, treatment, and continued community support, and whereas Livingston Parish recognizes the dedicated efforts of healthcare professionals, first responders, law enforcement officers, behavioral health providers, educators, community organizations, recovery advocates, and volunteers who work tirelessly to prevent overdoses, provide life-saving care, and support individuals and families affected by addiction, and whereas increasing public awareness of overdose prevention strategies, including education, access to treatment, recovery resources, and life-saving interventions, can help save lives and strengthen our community, and whereas Livingston Parish encourages all citizens to join together in supporting individuals in recovery, honoring those whose lives have been lost, and fostering compassion, hope, and understanding for those affected by substance abuse disorders. Now, therefore, I, Randy Delatt, Livingston Parish President, do hereby proclaim August 31st, 2026 as Overdose Awareness Day in Livingston Parish, and urge all residents to observe this day by remembering those lost to overdose, supporting those in recovery, promoting evidence-based prevention and treatment efforts, and working together to build a healthier, safer, and more compassionate community.
Thank you, Ms. Sandy.
Okay, she can read the next one. They go together.
Oh, they go together? All right, Miss Sandy, will you read C as well, the proclamation to declare the month of September 2026 as National Recovery Month?
Whereas substance use disorders and mental health conditions affect individuals, families, workplaces, and communities throughout Livingston Parish and the nation, and whereas recovery is possible and millions of Americans are living healthy, productive, and fulfilling lives through prevention, treatment, recovery support services, and the strength of their families and communities, and whereas National Recovery Month is observed each September to celebrate the resilience of those in recovery, recognize the dedicated professionals and organizations who provide treatment and support, and increase the public awareness that recovery is achievable for everyone. And whereas Livingston Parish recognizes the invaluable contributions of healthcare providers, behavioral health professionals, peer support specialists, first responders, law enforcement agencies, educators, faith-based organizations, community leaders, and recovery advocates who work tirelessly to promote prevention, provide compassionate care, and support individuals and families on their recovery journey. And whereas reducing the stigma surrounding substance use disorders and mental health conditions encourages individuals to seek help, strengthen families, and fosters healthier, safer, and more resilient communities. And whereas Livingston Parish is committed to supporting initiatives that expand access to prevention, treatment, recovery services, education, and community partnerships that empower individuals to achieve lasting recovery and improve their quality of life. Now, therefore, I, Randy Latt, Livingston Parish President, do hereby proclaim September 2026 as National Recovery Month in Livingston Parish and encourage all residents to recognize the importance of recovery, celebrate the achievements of those living in recovery, honor the dedication of those who support them, and promote compassion and understanding for individuals and families affected by substance use disorders and mental health conditions.
So in honor of these two proclamations, the government buildings along Government Boulevard will be lit purple throughout the month of September. It's just the color of remembrance for those events. And also in conjunction with this, we have prepared an opioid presentation. So this is all done with the encouragement of President DeLatte. He gives them a lot of encouragement to keep these programs going. So I'm going to introduce our opioid director, Glenn Lemoyne, and he's going to come up and share with you.
Good evening. Glenn Lemoyne, Livingston Parish Government Opioid Director. So I want to tell you we appreciate the opportunity to share the work Livingston Parish is doing through our opioid settlement program and our One Pill Can Kill initiative. Before we begin this presentation, I want to recognize a couple individuals who have been instrumental in making this program possible. First, I want to thank Livingston Parish President Randy DeLatte. His leadership, commitment to addressing the opioid crisis in Livingston Parish has been instrumental in implementing this program and ensuring that these settlement funds are used to make a meaningful difference in our community. He's given us the assets, the tools we need to get to where we are this far. And honest to God, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be where we're at right now with this program, with his support. So we're very grateful, Parish President Randy DeLatte. Also, I want to acknowledge a couple of people that work in the office with me. Jim Bozier, who was supposed to be here tonight, but he's sick. Jim is our opioid department monitor. Jim plays an important role in monitoring the program by helping ensuring accountability and proper oversight of our opioid settlement initiatives. I also want to thank Tara and Zena, who's here tonight. You want to stand up, Tara? Tara is our re-entry coordinator. As part of her role, she works with individuals as they transition back into the community and helps connect them with services, resources, and treatment, and other opportunities that help them successfully move forward. She also acts as a liaison between our department and current partnerships. Since June 26, 21 service dates have been arranged for transportation through Marquee for probation, drug court, physician appointments, and other reentry related needs. Coordinated and or attended computer classes at Livingston Parish Library for at least 5 attendees. Also demonstrated how to set computer classes independently with fellowship residents. So these are people that she's working with at these nonprofit organizations that's trying to get back into the workforce, that's clean, and she's teaching them computer classes, getting them ready, helping them apply for applications with jobs to get them back to be successful again. She also provided job assistance and or resume generation with 4 residents, forwarded 2 referrals to Fellowship Ministry of Grace for housing, arrange meetings with residents post-incarceration to evaluate job placement potential, successfully employment outcome with one resident following transportation assistance and probation evaluation, provided adult education, go jobs, resources to 3 houses to be provided to at least 30 residents, provided Louisiana rehabilitation services informative to 1 resident and to 3 houses to be provided to at least 30 residents. She also provided job fair information in 3 houses provided to 30 residences, assisted with several residents with Medicaid application completion to ensure plan selection for potential Sublocade treatment for all 3 received injections that we've given so far. So I want to take the time, and I also want to thank Marikey too. Marikey, I'm just going to touch on a couple of things because they really do a lot for us. So far through Marikey, 21 individuals have received counseling services, assessment, meds, case management. 27 transports to and from supporting recovery activities, including medical, dental, DCFS, visitation, court, probation, parole, housing, food, and resources. Other activities through Marikey's outreach events with One Pill Can Kill, marketing to hospitals, rehabs, probation, court, and other providers. Marikey also has weekly attendance at misdemeanor, court, probation, monitoring with the same day appointment availability for people that also has drug issues. So in closing, I want to say this program is truly a collaborative effort. Addressing the opioid crisis requires much more funding. It requires partnership, education, prevention, treatment, recovery, resources, and public awareness, and the people who are willing to work together toward a common goal. Today, we want to give you a better understanding of where Livingston Parish's opioid settlement funding is going, the partnerships we've established, the work already that's underway, and our plans to continue expanding these efforts throughout the parish. Ultimately, our goal is simple: to save lives, strengthen families, provide pathways to recovery, and also make it easy for the people of Livingston Parish to find help before, during, and after a crisis. With that, we would like to begin our presentation on Livingston Parish Opioid Settlement Funds, which we've already done. So thank y'all very much for listening to us and having us. We appreciate it.
Man, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
I know you're out there working. We see it every day, and continue to
It's
do
a lot
great
of-
things for this parish, man.
It's a lot of people that I didn't name that make all this work. Trust me.
It's a collective
lot.
effort.
And we've got a lot more work to do. So thank y'all for y'all support.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Councilman Shavers.
One pill can kill, but helping one person can make a difference. And you mentioned at least 21. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm Tim Henderson. I'm part of the One Pill Can Kill program in Livingston Parish. First of all, I want to thank y'all for y'all continued service and dedication to our parish. I want to acknowledge our parish president, Glenn, Mickey, and the other people that are part of this program also, our opioid director, Brent Ballard. It's a cumulative effort. It's a lot of people that put a lot of time and energy into this program, and I think it's something that's really good for our parish, and I want to thank Randy DeLatte for bringing this forward. We started this program in 2025. I'm going to turn sideways and look at some of these stats because I'm not able to see. The computer's kind of small. So if you see in 2025 when we started, the overall deaths were 1,291. We're down to 860 this year, and hopefully we'll continue the downward trend. It's something that our parish and the people that are in the One Pill Can Kill program is working diligently to make sure that we decrease these numbers every year, and it's our hope that we continue to have success. Our purpose, where the opioid money is going to prevention and education, public awareness, treatment and recovery, overdose response, partnerships, and program. When you drove in today, some of y'all came a little early, but when you drove in today, we had several people from the fire department and from the police department and the marshal's office that had their One Pill Can Kill units out here. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring some awareness. We're trying to create dialogue whenever people see these trucks, and we're trying to make sure that they see what's out there, and then we give them a product that they can utilize us as resources and all the additional people that we're going to use that we partnered with, and we'll talk about them in a minute. So here's some of the people that we've partnered with, and Glenn might have mentioned a few of them. I'm going to have a little bit. Stillwater Refuge, Marquee, Fellowship Ministries, Victory and Recovery, and Vitality. And one that's not up there is our Father's House, so we'd like to acknowledge them also. These people or these organizations are creating a lot of help and purpose for people that are having addiction issues, families that are experiencing these crises. So we appreciate them partnering with our parish and giving us these resources. It's something that's extremely vital to us. Whenever we give our One Pill Can Kill program, we're able to tell people, hey, these are resources that we have readily available for you. And it benefits us, it benefits the parish, because our quality of life depends on us getting this message out here and saving people's lives. I think I skipped one. Having difficulty here. Prevention and education. We have school outreach, presentation, educational material, youth and parent awareness. So we try to get out to the high schools, talk to the individuals that are in school, these kids, these children, the vulnerable people. We try to give them some insight and some awareness, some preventative measures, and we also try to make sure that their parents have the same understanding of what this opioid epidemic is, and that their kids are vulnerable to it. Treatment and recovery, overdose response, public awareness. We have billboards, videos, podcasts, social media, printed materials, events, and community campaign. And, you know, part of the material, we talk about these trucks that are out here, these SUVs that are attached to police agencies and stuff, and they do a really good job. Glenn has a truck also that has a wrap on it. So you can see these trucks and you can see these billboards, and the purpose for us is if we can get people talking about it, then we can take some of the stigma away from it. And that's a problem with addicts. Sometimes there's a stigma attached to it. So we're trying to eliminate that stigma and say, hey, it's okay if you're having these problems, because a lot of people got addicted to opioids just going to a doctor and getting a prescription, and then it's just something that manifests itself into an issue that they were not able to control. Overdose response. I want to just talk about Narcan real quick, because Narcan is something that's helping us out, and I think somebody will talk to you all a little bit about Narcan and right after me. But I want to say this: we go into the prisons, we go into the high schools and everything, and we talk about Narcan. We have Narcan readily available here at our parish health unit, and it's something that we also go out into the community and we talk to the businesses, areas that experience a high level of foot traffic. We try to make sure that they understand that we have a program. We'll come teach your people what to look for and how to respond to an overdose, but we also give them Narcan in the event that they should happen to find somebody that's in a compromised position. And we focus on the like Jubilee Cross and the areas where there's a lot of foot traffic, Denham Springs, close to the interstate where there's a lot of hotels, where there's a lot of foot traffic. So that's something else that we're doing, and we think that it's working. We think that the message is getting out there, and that it's something that's beneficial to our parish. Prevention starts with education. I talked about going to the high schools, talked about going to the prisons. My son, Tyler Henderson, and I don't think I introduced myself to y'all. I'm Tim Henderson. My son, Tyler Henderson, is also an instructor, and our opioid director, Brent Ballard, is an instructor with us also. And what we try to do is we try to get out into the community. We try to get out into the schools. Last year, we were successful in getting to at least half of the high schools. This year, we got a pretty good start. We've already had one so far, and the school year just started. So we're going to reach out to all the high schools and to the principals. If y'all out here listening, please call us. lp1pillcankill.org is our website, and we would be glad to come teach middle school, high schoolers, anybody that feels like they want us, we'll be there. Our parish president makes sure that we have the resources that we need. to go out there and implement these strategies. So some of the public awareness, we already talked about the cars. We have billboards out here. If you see the billboards, you see Jody Purvis, Randy DeLatte, and Jason Nord. These are 3 of our parish leaders along with y'all, and it's important that people see a united front, and I think that it's really important that we push this agenda that, hey, our leaders are supporting this, and then it can trickle down. And we trying to create, like I said, dialogue, so it's something that I think is working really well. We have social media. We have a content team that we put together. We have about 5 of us that take pictures, and we put social media, TikTok, and other Facebook and stuff like that. So it's something where we're trying to reach people from all levels, because most people look at Facebook, TikTok, and or Instagram, stuff like that. So we have people dedicated that are experienced in creating websites, monitoring the websites, and monitoring our social media posts. And I think it's working really good. Community outreach programs. We have a new pamphlet that we're handing out, and we're going to be disseminating it all throughout the parish. It's going to list a lot of resources. It's going to list a lot of other things. But from a community outreach standpoint, we've gone to several churches. We've gone, anybody that'll hear us will go. So please, if you have anybody that may be interested in hearing what we have to say and letting us come talk to them and giving them some awareness and preventative measures, please don't hesitate. To the people in the audience, the same goes for y'all. This is not exclusive to anybody. From a socioeconomic standpoint, everybody is affected by this in one capacity or another. Most people know somebody personally or friends with people that have experienced some addiction.
You seem like you have reached out to a lot of the students through Livingston Parish. You said you got to half the students last year.
We got half of the high schools. Yes, sir.
And you think you're gonna be able to get to all of them this year?
We hope to get to all of them this year. We have the time and energy. We just need to be able to create dialogue and create.
Your stats they show. Boy, I think it was a few slides back that you were at what 1,200. Now
Yes,
we're
sir.
close to 800.
Yep.
And man, we love it. Yeah.
And
we love what you're doing, and this one pill can kill is just absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great concept. So
it's a great concept.
Everybody who had a part in it, we do appreciate it. Let me talk about the.
Let's go straight in the road so far. What else is going to come up? So we can go into the financials and show y'all exactly where all the money's been spent across the parish. Go to the next slide.
The previous slide just showed our podcast. We do have a podcast out there. So the road so far: Livingston Parish Public Schools and SAD, $337,000. Livingston Parish Fire Department, $497,000. Law enforcement agencies, $375,000+. Traditional housing, $244,000+. Professional services, $128,000, and billboards, $47,100. This is what we've spent so far. Then we have drug testing, $27,000. Sublocade shots, $23,000. Educational materials, $6,000. Truck wraps, $21,000. AEDs for parish buildings, $128,000. And Lucas device, $347,000. So what comes next? We're going to continue to do everything that we're doing, and we hope that we can just keep getting the word out. One pill could kill. It's a powerful message. We all, like I said, we all have stories. So if y'all have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. If not, thank y'all for your time.
Anybody? I'd like to thank you for your time, man. That was a good presentation, and y'all are doing a great job. Thank you. All right, 10. Adoption of the minutes, July 23rd, 2026, regular meeting of the Livingston Parish Council. Is there a motion? Yeah, we can do both. And B, August 10th, 2026, regular meeting on the Livingston Parish Council. Got a motion by Councilman Mangens, second by Councilman Shavers. Go ahead and vote. That passed unanimous. All right. 11, Livingston Parish Department of Public Works, Mr. Dugas. Adopt a resolution to approve, ratify the bids for the Livingston Parish Better Roads Project 2026, Denham Springs Phase 1. Low bidder is R.J. Daigle and Sons contractors, $5,457,608.01. Mr. Dugas.
Project 266, basically it's 41 roads, covered about 10 miles. The low bidder is R.J. Daigle at 5.4. The engineer's estimate was at 5.7. So we're about $300,000 below the engineer's estimate. So I just asked that the council approve us to sign that parish president to sign that contract.
All right, is there a motion? Got a motion by Councilman Shavers, second by Councilman Watts. Go ahead and cast your vote. All right, that passed unanimous. Adopt a resolution to accept additional road length for Cook Road and Jubin Crossing into parish maintenance system.
So as we all know, the Cook Road is now open all the way through from Jubin to Peach Highway. So in the parish road maintenance, Cook Road already had a footage. Jubin Crossing already had a footage. So we have to pick up that additional footage. So I got with permits and planning. Because of the addressing issue, they request that we change the road name at the bridge. So everything east would be Jubin Crossing. Everything west of the bridge would be Cook Road. So those footages, Cook Road would then be 3,523 foot long. Jubin Crossing would be 7,777 foot long. And I'll request that the council adopt that into the parish maintenance system.
Councilwoman Sanders said she gives the motion, second by Councilman Blasco. Cast your vote. All right, that passed unanimously. Miss Sandy, can we vote for A through E all at one time? Yes? All right. Who wants to read it? Huh? Does anybody object? All right, we're going to... Caroline, do you mind reading A through E? Hmm?
12A is adopt a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between Livingston Parish Council and Louisiana Department of Treasury and the state of Louisiana to administer Act 961 of the 2026 regular legislative session. State aid to local government entities funding for the Livingston Parish Animal Shelter Spay and Neuter Program. B, adopt a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Livingston Parish Council and the Louisiana Department of Treasury and the state of Louisiana to administer Act 961 of the 2026 regular legislative session, state aid to local government entities funding for the Fire Protection District Number 7 for gear, equipment, and acquisitions. C, adopt a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Livingston Parish Council and the Louisiana Department of Treasury and the state of Louisiana to administer Act 961 of the 2026 regular legislative session, state aid to local government entities funding for the Fire Protection District Number 1 for gear and equipment. D, adopt a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Livingston Parish Council and the Louisiana Department of Treasury in the state of Louisiana to administer Act 961 of the 2026 regular legislative session, state aid to local government entities funding for the Fire Protection District Number 2 for labor, materials, and supplies for the Training Center Construction and Renovations Project. E, adopt a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Livingston Parish Council and the Louisiana Department of Treasury and the state of Louisiana to administer Act 3 of the 2026 regular legislative session, state aid to local government entities funding for the Amite River Boat Launch Project.
Okay, I'm gonna open up the floor to anybody that would like to talk on any behalf of these. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna close the floor. Got a motion. Motion
I'll
by
make a
Councilman Coates, second by Councilwoman Sandiford. Cast your vote. All right, that passed unanimous. All right, introduction of ordinance. Ms. Sandy, will you read that introduction?
This will be proposed ordinance 26-26. It's an ordinance to acquire a movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number FEMA-4611-DR-LA-0077- Livingston Parish. The public hearing will be at 6 p.m. on September the 10th.
September 10th, 6 p.m. Can you read G?
This will be proposed ordinance 26-27. It's an ordinance to acquire movable property for the parish of Livingston pursuant to the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, project number FEMA-4611-DR-LA-0077- Livingston Parish. Public hearing will be at 6 p.m. It's September the 10th.
All right, both of those will be September 10th at 6 p.m. All right, public hearing and adoption of LP ordinance 26-20, an ordinance to prohibit private security surveillance cameras and the parish maintain right-of-ways. Councilman Shavers. All right. Ms. Sandy, can you read that by title?
This is proposed ordinance number 26-20. It's an ordinance amending the Livingston Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 50, Section 50-9, signs in parish maintain rights of way, by adding the prohibition of private security surveillance cameras.
All right, so we got some people
one.
that got one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gary Talbert.
Mr. Talbert, we're going to open public hearing. All right, we're going to give you 3 minutes. State your name and address.
Gary Talbert, 35002 Ben Road. I'm up here to speak in opposition to the ordinance for a couple reasons. One being the fact that you called it a parish right-of-way. However, most parish right-of-ways are not owned by the parish; they're owned by individuals. You know, you have a 60-foot servitude where a road goes, but there's a drainage servitude that's part of my property. The utility servitude is part of my property. So what you're telling me is I can't put a private security camera or card or license plate reader on my property. And I think that's the issue that you exist in this ordinance, because you had to define, you know, you can't tell me what I can't do on my property, but you're going to tell me because a parish has a right-of-way to my property that I can't do something. Secondly, the only person that should be concerned about a license plate reader is that individual that's breaking the law. My friend right here has an instance that, you know, his father-in-law got lost at EVR. Because of license plate readers, they found him in 15 minutes. That's how long it took. So, you know, you've got a situation that there is a tremendous benefit for private security to have situations on public right-of-ways. I can tell you, if there's a crime and somebody leaves our parish down Magnolia Beach Road, there's a sheriff's detective at my truck stop looking at my video cameras every time it happens. Bo Bailey was a young man that grew up next to me that got killed. They tracked his murderer from North Louisiana to Denham Springs to North Louisiana to Denham Springs with card readers, with license plate readers. Some of them public, some of them private. So before we sit there and talk about stomping on somebody's rights because we're reading their license plate, you are not entitled to privacy in a public place. That's just a given that exists. You can't go in the public place, ride down a public street, and expect privacy. When you own your cell phone, you're being tracked. If you've got you know, like Blue Cruise or Super Cruise, or, you know, Sync 4 with Ford, and I forget what GPS, what does General Motors have? Well, no, the
OnStar.
OnStar. You're being tracked. Most of y'all ride around with your Wi-Fi on in your car. And every router you pass by, you're getting dinged. Ding, 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 ding. Look sometimes on your phone at what's happening. Turn your Wi-Fi on and just look. As you ride down the road, a car passes you, you're getting boom, boom, boom. So consequently, we're already being tracked. Big Brother's already there. It's the criminals that we're trying to worry about. Those guys are the ones that don't want their card readers read. I mean, their license plates read. They're the ones that are worried about the cameras. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, I'm gonna close the floor.
Yeah, so I'm just going to speak on this ordinance, and I've had multiple conversations with HOAs, with individuals, several conversations with the sheriff about this. So I just want to clarify several misconceptions that I'm hearing from the public. One of those is they're banning them. They're banning them. No one is banning anyone from having a camera. You could put it in your front yard. You could put it in your backyard, on your fence. You can put it anywhere as you want. All we're saying in this ordinance is don't put it in the parish right of way. And to one of the points that Mr. Talbot brought up, which, let me back up. We're not making this a retroactive ordinance. This is just going forward. So any subdivisions that have them now, they're totally fine. They can stay. But going forward, any new development, subdivision-wise, cannot be able to put them in the right of way. So if this passes. So, Mr. Talbot said if you own it, the right-of-way, if individuals own a portion of the parish right-of-way, then it's not classified as a parish right-of-way. That's a very simple fix, and the planning department will know that. If there's any confusion as to who owns it and who doesn't, the planning department will be able to find that out. If there is a camera that is in a parish right-of-way that we believe, and it's through documents that it's owned by the individual, well, then the camera stays. That's a simple fix. My biggest concern was not just in subdivisions, but outside of subdivisions. So if you live on a parish road, who's to say that a complete stranger can't put a camera in the parish right-of-way and monitor your house, your kid's house, your sister's house? To me, it's just a huge invasion of privacy. Again, this is not banning individuals from not being able to have these cameras. I've talked to the sheriff's department and talked to homeowners associations about safety concerns, and Sheriff Jason Ard's statement to me, and I'm ad-libbing here, was it's more of a, yes, they don't have a contract with specific vendors of these cameras, but if somebody provides evidence of a crime using these cameras, yes, they'll use it. But, I do understand the safety concern. We're just saying, please don't put it in the parish right of way, and that's all this ordinance says. It's very cut and dry. We just want to be able to make sure that you can put them where you would like. We are just requesting that they not go in the parish right of way. So that's, if anybody else has any more input, I'm all ears.
Councilman Mangus.
This question's for Mr. Dugas. In section 50-9, it says, signs and our private security surveillance devices in parish maintained right-of-ways. Are there such things as parish right-of-ways that aren't maintained? Because that may be the subdivisions where... No.
I have to put you on the record, sir.
Mr. Dugas, to the office, please.
I would defer to Mr. Al, but as I understand, a right-of-way is a deeded section of land. A servitude is not. So that would be a parish right-of-way. My definition is the parish has deed title to that right-of-way. Okay. A servitude is just access for it.
Well, it has the word, Mr. Shavers, it has the word maintained. So is that okay? Because they're...
And how, what do you mean maintained? I mean, You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if it's a drainage servitude, you maintain it for drainage. If it's a road servitude or right away, you maintain it. So
that was just the verbiage that was already in the ordinance we didn't amend that part, but if we want to just put parish right of way and just take out the maintained, I'm fine with making an amendment and doing that.
We would need an amendment if we don't want to include Yeah, to make this non-retroactive, right?
Right. Well, it's not in there, so unless it's stated in there that it is retroactive, then it is not. So can I make an amendment to take out the maintain portion and just make it parish right away?
So you want to do a substitute motion to take out the maintain?
Well, let's just finish, I guess, just all the comments.
Huh?
Just finish. Anybody else?
All right. Anybody else? Yes. You're good.
Y'all good with me?
Good. Anybody else? Got Councilman Watts.
Would you be opposed to send this back to the ordinance committee and get this, everything we need to put in there like it's supposed to be?
So I am opposed to that because I think it's a very simple ordinance. I don't know. We can make amendments tonight. We can make amendments. We went through the ordinance committee. We went through an introduction. Now we're here. We had the sheriff at the ordinance committee meeting. We had constituents come up and speak and add input. I'm all up for amendments. I'm not. I can't. I don't want to send it back to the ordinance committee because there's obviously people here that came and spoke on it, and for us to go back through all of this process and make changes that they may not. They may be okay with this one, but if we make changes, they may not be okay with that.
Well, I was just looking at the future. I mean, if we speak in the future, using them in the future, go ahead and set up a permit system on them. We know who has them, who doesn't have them, longitude, latitude, or where you're going to put them. I think this is all kind of a lot of factors in there that we probably need to look at. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's my opinion.
We can adopt it tonight, and I'll put it back on the ordinance committee for changes, and I'll work with anybody on changes on it. I just think it's important to look, they are AI cameras. AI is developing and moving so quickly. And I'm not saying tomorrow we're going to have 1,000 of them in Livingston Parish. I'm not saying that. But I just think that we need to regulate them within our parameter and what we're in control of. And that would be the parish right away, in my opinion. But again, I'm all up for any suggestions, any changes that you feel that need to be done to it. I just don't think it would be wise of us to send it back to the ordinance.
All right. Councilman Goff. Turn the mic on.
Oh, it's working. To be quite honest with you, and we discussed this in the ordinance committee meeting, Mr. Wascom brought it up, that there's already language in there prohibiting anything to be in our right of way. And I do believe, kind of like what Mr. Watts says, that we have this thing has opened up a whole lot of things I didn't even think about, to be quite honest with you. And I've learned a lot in the meantime here. And with the technology moving, like you said, as fast as it's moving, it's going to take some pretty legal language. And to be quite honest with you, I think we're going to have to put the burden on the sheriff to approve or not approve a particular camera system because he's really the one that needs to use it. So it's a fine line, and from my standpoint of just stopping the cameras, to be quite honest with you, I go home today and I put it up. Do you know if it was there before or not? It really isn't going to make any difference because there's an ordinance on the books now that says it shouldn't be put up already. The ordinance here that you amended, it says the parish council prohibits any signs being placed in the right-of-way maintained by the parish. Right, but so the security valance and all, so anything that's in the right-of-way. Signs maintained in the right-of-way, yep. So I think the language is probably there already prohibiting somebody from putting anything in our right-of-way. I would have to read through the whole thing. But the other part of it is if we're going to adopt anything today, I think it needs to state third party, because that's kind of where the problem is. It's the third party people. It's not so much as our HOAs putting on their own private security system.
Can you define a third party? Like, what is your definition of a third party?
To me, I mean, the guy that owns it, if it ain't him that owns it and somebody else is monitoring and putting it in there, it's somebody else's.
So it would be HOAs.
So the HOA owns it.
Right. So is that a third party?
No, they own it. The third party that's putting it in and managing it would be another company, like a whoever, yeah. a
So
flock or
the
whatever.
installation would be the third party, and then the HOA's only.
Somebody else is monitoring it, somebody else puts it in. So if an HOA goes out and does what you're talking about and wants to go with Flock or whoever the heck they want to go with, then they're going with a third party. They're not installing their system themselves and monitoring it themselves. They have a third party that's doing it and taking care of it for them. That's where the problem is, as I understand it.
That's not. So
the third party problem with them monitoring it is not the
One second,
problem.
I'll call you back up.
Is not the. As you can see, there's a lot of pieces to this thing that still needs to be really worked out, and I think we got enough. But if we was to change it to at least third party, I do believe that the sheriff's got to get involved with this. I hate to say that to him, but the only person I know of that can say the camera should go in or not go in is going to be the guy that's trying to enforce the law. So what's the benefit of that camera being in our right of way? It should be something to help protect our constituents, I guess.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I've talked to the sheriff about this.
Okay.
The sheriff does not want that responsibility. He does not want that responsibility. From what he has told me, he's got his own surveillance system. He monitors the data, and he's got cameras all over. So he monitors his own data on his own cameras. He doesn't want to be responsible for an HOA purchasing a camera and having access to that. Now, does he have access to one or two here and there? Yes, he does. But to get in the business of just strictly turning it over to the sheriff's department and every camera that's installed, he does not want that responsibility. So that's my talks with him. I'm okay with making an amendment that we want tonight, but let's just make the amendment, get it adopted, and then I will put it on the next ordinance committee meeting, and I'll take any suggestions anybody's got. We've made it this far with it, and we've went through 3 meetings.
Yeah. Public comments over. I'll address that in a second. Okay, I'm trying to get through the council. Councilwoman Sanford.
Okay, so I have some questions, Mr. Al. Maybe you could help. Is it a liability on the parish to have these in our right of way?
Is it on? I'm on.
Yeah, you're on.
It's not necessarily a liability, but the parish does have the right to ban things from being within the right of way. Civil Code Article 458, I believe that Civil Code, basically says that anything that's put in by someone else into a public thing can be removed at that person's expense if it hasn't been permitted and accepted by the parish. And then there's been case law that interpreting that codal article says that when they talk about public things, that includes public rights of way. So if they have the authority to remove things that aren't permitted, all you're doing is taking a proactive stance by this ordinance and saying, well, we're not permitting anything because we're prohibiting anything block camera-wise from being in the public right-of-way in the first place. So I think that the parish is authorized to proceed with what's being proposed in the ordinance. I think that there's legal footing to do that.
And
I guess I wasn't sure what you meant by liability.
Well, a liability. So, unfortunately, there are some pretty sick people that misuse these cameras. And there are some pretty sick individuals that hack into even the account holders of these cameras across the nation. That's a problem. I don't want anybody. Yeah. And so what happens if we have a case of that and the parish is on the hook for somebody's private camera because somebody's child, wife, whatever was harmed by some sex deviant criminal?
I'm glad you
then it's on
explained-
us.
I'm glad you explained what you meant by that. Unless it's something that the parish put up there, it's a parish system, they decided that they wanted flock cameras installed, then I think that would be more so exposure-wise for the parish. But if some third party puts a flock camera on the parish right away, as long as it's not something that the parish has endorsed or the parish put forth, I think it's a a harder argument to make against the parish for liability. But
Okay.
again, like I said, though, for the parish to do what's being proposed in this ordinance, I think
Would
there's
clean us of
solid
that.
legs to stand on.
Yeah, and then, so other things I want to bring up, what about personal privacy? I like my privacy. If you want to put a camera on your private land, go for it. But I don't want a camera in a median. Facial recognition is a thing. I just got back from a conference where AI was a very big deal and very in-depth talked about. And I'm a little fearful. I'm a lot fearful of what I heard. And so they do have issues. Hacking occurs in this, deviant and criminal behaviors. Private cameras are not law enforcement cameras. Those are different cameras. Where do we draw the line with privacy? And who logging into these individual owners of these cameras, who holds them accountable if it's in a parish right of way for the misuse of the cameras? I like that, if the neighborhoods want to use them and the HOAs want to use them, okay, put them on your private land. That's what I say about it. We're opening up a can, allowing them onto public right of ways, in my opinion.
Councilman Mangus.
Are we allowing them? Because if it says that you can't have signs, can that be extrapolated to say that it can't be cameras?
I think that might be a stretch. And I looked at that. I did when I was looking at the statutes in the article today, knowing that this was on the agenda tonight. And I don't know that that's interpreted that broadly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we do allow,
to be quite frank about it, I just, at the time that those statutes were created, I don't think people envisioned the flock cameras coming down the road. So,
and if we do grandfather in, for lack of a better term, existing cameras, would we then have to establish a permit system for new cameras?
I don't know that you say make a mandatory permit system.
Well,
I think
because
what's being
how would
proposed
you know which ones are?
I think what's being proposed isn't permitting future ones; it's barring future ones. Yeah. I mean, that's what I heard in the ordinance.
Okay.
All right, Councilman Chambers.
I just want to make one statement, and I'm going to ask the audience to do something for me. Has anybody in the audience, raise your hand, seen, and I'm just going to name this brand because this is the first one that comes to mind. This is not specifically calling them out. Flock. Has anybody seen the map that they produced of how many cameras are, let's just say in Louisiana? Has anybody seen that map? Okay, so you've got 3 or 4 people. So that tells me that nobody knows how fastly all this is growing. Where are we going to be in 5 years? Where are we going to be in 10 years? Is everything going to be monitored? Is everybody going to be watched? Are we going to get to a point to where they're at every intersection, every median, every right-of-way, every yard, every house? What point are we going to, not necessarily stand up, but say, enough is enough? This ordinance is not banning you from having your own personal look. Go get one, put it in your front yard, put it on your truck. I don't care where you want to put it. I'm just saying, from our standpoint, we just don't want them in the parish right away. I don't. I'm totally fine with making a couple amendments here and there and then taking it back to the ordinance committee to digest again. Totally fine with that. But I think this is very simple. This is not a lengthy ordinance. It's just an amendment to one. I know it's controversial because Flock is, and again, I'm just using them as an example. I'm not singling them out, but they are fastly growing. And we have to, at some point, get a handle on it. So,
all right, Councilman Coates.
All right, I'd just like to say a few things about it. I'm not totally against camera systems. I think that they do help solve crimes. However, our Constitution does prohibit invasion of privacy, and there are certain laws and things that are in place to protect your privacy. I know in these times that we have today, a lot of people just hit the button and give their privacies away. And that's one thing, if you want to do that with your phone or other devices that you have. But if I'm going to visit someone in a neighborhood, I shouldn't have to be concerned with, I don't know that camera's there. Even if everyone in that neighborhood has given permission for the camera to be there, it could still be an issue. I know that Flock, I think on the 20th, came out and said, we're going to go from 30 days of retaining the data down to 7. Okay, well, when that occurred, first thing came to my mind is they knew that they were holding the data too long then, because they came right away and changed the length of the time frame that they're going to have it. Now, I've also heard some people say, well, you know, you can see what you can see on a public roadway. That is true. However, the distinction comes when you don't have the manpower to track someone's movements all the way from their home to the mall in Baton Rouge or to Washington, D.C., because you're going on a business trip or whatever. You don't have that many law enforcement to have eyes in all those areas. So you are tracking people is what you are doing. And I have no problem with utilizing the cameras, but you have to be careful how you do that. You need to have a criminal nexus when you start pulling them up. All right? It's one thing for them to be there, but to have people that can just pull them up and say, hey, I'm going to see what time Councilman Shavers leaves to go to work every morning. And maybe his wife doesn't leave till 2 hours later. Maybe they have devious thoughts of what they might want to go do in that situation. That's a problem. And we need to make sure that before we allow it to get out of control, we put some constraints on it. That's all.
Yeah, and then what about when we've got flock cameras flying through the air past the bathroom window? That, you know, where do we draw the line? Because it's coming.
Say one more thing. Billy, say one more thing. The other thing is this. I know that some of these cameras activate under the premise of warrants and things of that nature. Now, if that occurs, and everybody says, well, that's great, we're catching people. We are catching people, and that is great. We do want to get people who are not obeying the laws off the streets, 100%. But what happens when you borrow your neighbor's vehicle because you want to go run and get something from the store, not knowing he's doing anything nefarious, but obviously he was, and now you're getting pulled over in a felony traffic stop? That's a bad situation to be in when you're just getting that data from a license plate reader. You know, something that needs to be considered, because that could be you, that could be your daughter, could be your grandkids getting pulled over in that scenario.
Okay.
So
go ahead, Mr. Goff.
It's not too often that I agree with you, Dean, but I do agree with a lot of what you stated, because there is a real crazy balance here of being able to assist law enforcement and our actual privacy. You're going down a public road. It's for anybody to use. So if our law enforcement has some type of ability to help protect us, then that's the one that's monitoring it. And that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is there's a lot more that needs to go into this. And I'm definitely going to ask for it to go back to the ordinance committee. If we approve this tonight, either way, we are saying that whoever's in the has cameras now can leave them. And if somebody wanted to put one, are we going to grant a permit? There's a lot of things that need to be answered here, for sure. But the balance of just what you said is the real difficult thing, because we need law enforcement to have all the tools that they can get in this world today. All the tools that they can get to help protect us. But that's, and I know the sheriff may say he didn't want to do it, but ultimately I think that's going to end up being his responsibility. But I definitely want it to go back to the Ordinance Committee. It needs to have more digest. We probably need to get the legislators involved to have some legislation put in it, because this thing's growing fast. But you know, anyway, I only had the concern about the third party. That way, it isolates what cameras that we absolutely are saying no third party type thing, but it doesn't matter to me.
All right, Councilwoman Sanford.
Can we let the sheriff handle law enforcement and the council handle council parish road business? We have a pretty fantastic
Well, with the
law
and
enforcement.
with that piece is that he would be the one that he would have to go govern this as well.
But these are private cameras.
You know, if it was inside a parish right away, he would be the one that has to go and say that is an illegal camera, and he would have to do the investigation to figure out who put it in, what system, and then who to charge with the illegal camera. But I understand what you're saying.
I make a motion that we approve the ordinance as written and send it back to the ordinance committee to get more in-depth information. The fact that what you're saying is that any cameras that are in place today stay in place, and we're not going to go out there, hunting on cameras. But anything in the future, they can't put it in. I don't know how you're going to enforce that, but anyway, that's my motion.
Can you read that motion one more time?
Motion as is presented, send it back to the ordinance committee to have
So
a
it's a-
digest and try to find more.
So you
It
have a
needs to do
motion to
Adopt. And then a
adopt
motion to send to the ordinance.
and to send it back to the ordinance committee after adoption.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so there's a motion by
Is that legal? Can we do that? Adopt a motion and then
Once it's adopted.
it has to be enforced?
Once it's adopted, it's an ordinance, but you go back and do a.
That's
Yeah,
all
we can-
we're going to
new
do.
ordinance.
We're going to take it.
In
I'm
effect,
going to
a
put
new
it on the
ordinance.
ordinance committee agenda
Okay.
at the y'all's next meeting.
All right, it's got a
In
motion
effect, it would be a
from
new ordinance.
Councilman Goff, second by Councilman Shavers. Cast your vote. Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Your motion is to adopt it and go back for some changes. Let me say this, in regards to privacy, let me ask you a question. As a private citizen, do I have a right to go stand on the public sidewalk with a note paper and a pencil and make a description of every car that goes down the highway and write their license plate down? Do I have that legal right? Could I stand on the sidewalk with my cell phone and record every car going up the road and zoom in as much as I want to? Can I do that? So I have that right as an American citizen. I could put that phone on the tripod and step away for a minute if I want and come right back. Look, I voted to send this to be adopted because I thought this wasn't going to be an issue. But when I got a bunch of phone calls from a subdivision that up in Mr. Shaver's district that has a highway coming off of the has a median in the middle of their boulevard with a marquee sign that they maintain, landscaping they maintain. There's no utility servitudes in there, which is why I thought, well, you don't want signs and cameras in a servitude because you don't want to interfere with cable TV, cable lines and sewer and gas and water and interfere with that. Just like fences in drainage districts. You don't let them people put fences in drainage because we have to maintain that. But in the case where like this, where there is no, the parish doesn't maintain it, the homeowners association maintains it. They spent their money to put it there, and sure, we're going to pass this law, but exempt them. But there may be other homeowners in the future that would want to have that. Look, I agree with privacy and keeping government from overreaching and protecting the Fourth Amendment. I'm fine with that. I just don't see where this is a violation of the Fourth Amendment that requires a warrant for searches and seizures. I mean, you're not searching your property, you're not seizing your possessions. And I applaud the attempt to create an ordinance that, because there could be something that could cause a problem, like Ms. Sandifer said, it may turn into drones in the future, and you know. But one thing I've learned in my years of legislation is that it's better to be a little slower and create the right ordinance than to draft an ordinance and make into law something without giving it just a little extra thought that we could do. And you brought up tonight about permitting. You brought up tonight about for different things. Maybe we could set up where you require a permit. That way we can know where these cameras are. And everyone can be aware of where they are. Public knowledge. I would like to just go back to the ordinance committee one more time with it before we adopt it. So I'd make a motion that we don't adopt it and we send it back to the ordinance committee one more time.
All right, got a substitute motion to send it back to the ordinance committee by Councilman Wascom. Got a second by Councilman Watts. Cast your vote. That passed 6 yeses to 3 noes. So it's going back to the ordinance committee.
I hope you'll be there, Gary.
All right. Moving to the next one. 14, adopt a resolution to increase the speed limit on John Barber Road from 25 to 35 miles an hour located in District 9. Councilman Erdy.
That's going to be pulled for right now until I do further research and get more knowledge about it. So we're pulling that tonight.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull that. Did anybody want to come up here and speak about it? Nope. Okay. Adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver in section 601-02 minor subdivision limitations for the number of lots on a survey located on Hammock Road in Council District 6 for William A. Wright. All right, so this is in Councilman Mangus's district. Go ahead, Mr. Mangus. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Wright.
This is Mr. Wright. He's a constituent of the district I represent, 6. He's been in front of our August body before, and we sent him back to get letters from no objection, right, from his neighbors. So, Mr. Wright, can you report in again?
William Wright. I've got 2 addresses. 13243 Hammock Road, and I'm in the process of moving to the retreat at Jubin Crossing. 10077 Jubin Crossing.
All right, Mr. Wright, did you get your letters of no objection?
I sent 4 letters out. I got 4 back, but I've misplaced one of them. All 4 came back with no objection.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you for that. So we're going to make this pretty easy. Councilman Mangus.
I make a motion that we approve the variance for Mr. Wright. He's done everything that we've asked.
Hold on. I'm just getting motions. All right, got a motion by Councilman Mangus. Second? Second by Councilman Watts. All right, I'm going to open the floor up to public comment. Come on.
Ryan Clemens, 34348 Robbie Lee. 4 weeks ago, I stood up here and asked you to pass the UDC, and you did so. I appreciate it. 2 weeks ago, the very next meeting, we're looking at a waiver already. I'm not talking about a hardship waiver, just a waiver. Somebody that doesn't want to obey the rules. 2 weeks later, here we are, you got 3 of them in front of us. You know, we got 10% of the people that normally vote in this parish, and the reason for that is they don't have confidence in us anymore. We need to show the courage of our convictions and stand by this unified development code we just passed. And I'm asking not to start handing out waivers.
Okay, Mr. Clemens, but this was deferred. This was from a July 23rd meeting. We asked him to go do something from this council and said if he brought it back that we would consider this waiver. And I greatly appreciate what you're saying, but he did exactly what we asked. And I do trust in the UDC, but we, the council, asked for something from him. He provided it. And it's
I'm
been...
responding also to the 2 right behind this one. I'm not going to get up.
Yeah, I get it. So I thank you for...
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, so we got a motion by Councilman Mangus, second by Councilman Watts. Cast your vote. All right, we got 7 yeses, 1 no, the no being Councilman Coates, and 1 absent. Next one.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. 16, adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver of section 10602, minor subdivision limitations for number of lots on a servitude off of Arnold Road, Council District 1 for Tessa Glasscock. Councilman Watts, want to talk to us about that real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna make that motion to grant that waiver. I got Mr. Ralph Burgess up here to speak on it, give the details, because it's involved some, orders from the judge and court and stuff.
It involves some stuff from the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, 30564 Burgess Road. Miss Tessa Glasscock asked me to come speak on it because it's somewhat a complex situation. Currently, her and her husband had a divorce back in late 2025. Part of this agreement to this, which is filed in the courthouse in December of 2025, is for her to settle a 2-acre piece of property that is supposed to be given to her kids upon the time they reach the age of 18. This is on a servitude. This division of property would actually put 1 over the required servitude requirements for the parish. So in this instance, she has a unique situation. The son is 18 years old and is wishing to move forward with building his house. He's already started trying to get his funding. He cannot get it because he does not own the property. It's only technically will be owned in interest only. He would have to share interest only, 50% interest of the property with his sister and his mother, because his sister is a minor at this current time. He's 18 years old. He's trying to get his house built on this property. So in other words, to complete this, we need to get a waiver, so therefore she can complete the transfer of the donation to the son, so he can get full 100% interest in his half of this property. Okay, the other half will maintain in Miss Tessa's name and in her name, because the daughter is a minor. Upon finishing this, upon the minor becoming an adult, 18 legal age, she's required to transfer that title into her daughter's name at that point. There's 2 options here, and what we're trying to do is do the simplest option. Come to that, ask for a waiver, do the resub, and have it transferred. The other options allow for the daughter to turn 18 years old. At that point, it's the 50-50 interest in the whole 2 acres. At that point in time, they would still have to come back to the council for a waiver to be able to divide the property properly inside of that servitude, because of the amount of lots that are on the servitude. The only solution to this is actually going back to the judge who decreed on and agreed to the order that they agreed on, is to force a division of the property, which then in turn will come back to the council. Okay, we're just trying to avoid legalities down the road, guys. That's all we're trying to do. This was filed prior to the UDC, which Ms. Bryan was alluding to. Also, one other part of note is there is actually another legal access that's using this servitude, which makes this number go above. That particular person is actually part of the family. He actually has another servitude of access by prescription going out to Arnold Road, but his legal access is the servitude also. So there's a twist there where there's a lot that's actually technically not using it, but legally it's filed to be using it, which puts it over the lot. So any other particular questions, I'll be glad to answer them as best I can.
So it sounds like it's a family nightmare of a judge said that this 2 acres has to be split amongst the 2 children. One is 18, one is still a minor.
Correct.
And so for this 18-year-old that wants to move on to what technically is his, he needs a waiver to be able to subdivide this property on.
That's correct. Even if we do not get the waiver,
It's still, no matter what way, it's still coming back to this council either now, in 1 year, 2 year, or after the judge comes in and says, you will do this.
That's what, you got there's 3 options there. Approve one tonight, wait and have the kids come in once they both reach 18, ask for the same waiver, because both of them will be technically ownerships of that property, only in interest, not in fee, in interest only, and ask for a waiver then, or then have to go to a judge and have it decreed out.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we got a motion by Councilman Watts, second by Councilman Goff.
I looked this up, and There's no, Adrian Borderline, 8489 Beechwood Drive. There's nobody by the name of Tessa Glasscock being assessed for a property in the parish of Livingston. So who owns this property? And who is being, it's not being assessed by this Miss Glasscock lady, so who actually owns the property? And that is my question, that you're granting a waiver to somebody who doesn't legally, or at least according to the assessor's office, own the property in the parish of Livingston. Thank
So I will answer that question. It's very simplistic. The decree and the filing was at the end of December of 2025. It was December, I believe it was December 28th. It was filed in the courthouse, thus it would not show up currently on the assessor site. It is currently being moved to the assessor site. She's already met with Jeff Taylor to make sure her property she's being given. There's another piece of property that she has. It's not the one is being assessed. This is a divorce. It was originally owned by owned between her and her husband, her ex-husband, Mr. Cody Glasscock. So it's not technically, it's decreed out in the division of property based on the divorce. So it should be showing up on the tax assessor this year.
Thank you for clarifying that. All right, I'm gonna close the floor to public comment. Councilman Coates.
Mr. Everett, could you give us a little input on some of this? You just listened to all of it we listened to.
I'll try. This is a community property settlement. It doesn't really involve the parish. And, you know, it's not binding on the parish. So I think you've got to address the issues that what the reasons are that you have restrictions on the number of lots on these private servitudes because you've got things like fire protection, access. It's within your authority to grant it if you want to, and it's, you know, you've got issues why you might not want to, but you know you've also got, and the parish is not bound to do it by the community property settlement.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there's no more questions, cast your vote. All right, that passed 5 yeses, 3 noes, and 1 absent. Or 1 abstain, I'm sorry. And the abstain is Councilman Shavers, and the 3 noes is Councilman Coates, Councilman Erdy, and Councilwoman Sanford. All right. I 17, adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver of 405-10 landscape buffer requirements to waive the fence buffer zone requirements for Denham Springs Boat and RV, Florida Boulevard, and Council District 7. Councilman Goff.
Okay, my mic is not working again, but I'm going to borrow Mr. Mangus. Just thank you, sir. This is, I think the gentleman is here. If you want to come up to the microphone. We spoke on the phone a few different times. If y'all notice, there's a RV and boat storage on Florida Boulevard by where Burgess comes in, next to the kind of Coburns. It's facing Florida Boulevard. They own all the surrounding property. I think it's your mom.
Yes, sir. My property's directly connected to it, but my mom is across the driveway.
Right. So naturally, mom said it was okay. But I think you got all the documentation, and really it's a matter of the fence and the buffers only buffering and separating his personal property. So it actually would not be beneficial from a security standpoint. So he was asking that we waive that. The RV park is fenced in with a hurricane fence, etc. And how many spots is it? 20?
Approximately 50.
50.
And we actually finished the backside of the building where we're looking at the 10 on the
Yeah, the
backside
10,
of the building
right.
versus a fence.
So I just asked for a motion to approve the waiver.
So you got a motion for the waiver for that. Second by Councilman Wascom. Councilwoman Sanford.
I've got some questions just for clarification. He's got an 8-foot explain the fence to me?
So he's got, it's
Around
how
the-
long is the building? 28?
The building's 288 feet.
So it's 288 feet, and on the backside that's facing his property is all walled up with tin. And then there's a 6-foot hurricane fence that's surrounding the entire property. This is an RV storage, like for somebody to park their camper or a boat or things of that nature. So it's commercial property, and then his property surrounds it.
So the
I do have a
hurricane,
picture that I could show you.
what is the hurricane fence made out of?
That's a chain link.
Yeah,
fence.
because that's not the ordinance,
No,
is why I'm asking.
But we're asking to waive the whole ordinance for the fence.
Just between
that's supposed to
him-
be required on the property line.
The whole,
Yeah.
encompassing the
We
whole.
were just saying that it is still fenced in.
And we do have a notarized letter just asking, or that says if we ever sell either property, that a fence has to be constructed. filed with
So
the parish.
who's on the other side of the fence?
So it would be my driveway, my house, and then the storage. Coburn's is on the right side of us.
Okay.
Or of the storage. So there's no fence there because they weren't required because it was commercial versus commercial.
I see. Okay. I think does the ordinance require letters of no objection in this instance? Because I had this in my district at one time as well.
I think the only other person is I think you own
Coburn?
on both sides of the property, right?
Right, I own everything.
He own on
that
both sides of
attaches
the thing.
to
It's
the-
in a.
So he
it's
would
kinda
send a
in
letter to himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
So this is just one of those quirky little things. Okay.
It is.
Okay.
And I asked him that because he may not always live there. I asked him to include that letter to where if he ever sold his property or sold that for his own protection as well, whoever purchased that would be required at the
Okay,
point
I see.
of that to fence it in.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Would you be willing to write a letter that you're okay with this?
Yes. Most
Thank you for your patience and hanging in
Right.
tonight.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to open the floor up for public comment if anybody wants to speak on this.
8489 Adrian Borderline, 8489 Beechwood Drive. Why do we have rules? Why? Why do you have rules? If you're going to allow anybody to just come up here and ask to waive the rules, right? I thought we were a body of law, right? You're the legislative branch. You created the law. Why? Why did y'all vote? Why did this parish of Livingston spend tens of thousands of dollars creating a land development code that every month or every other week you're going to be up here just throwing it out the window? I don't understand this.
I would like to answer that. Why do we give waivers? That is your question. If we could not use common sense and evaluate can you step back because I want to look at her when I'm talking. No, that's okay. Because as a legislator, if I can't look at every decision and make a common sense, good faith judgment whether a law applies to a specific situation, then we should not pass a law, because no law fits every circumstance and every situation. And I know you sit out there and you think, oh, you passed the law, just follow the rules and yes and no, but there is nothing that is black and white and always yes and no. Every situation is different. And the law is for the benefit of people, but you can't live by the law. You got to live by the Spirit. And I'm just telling, pardon?
Where's the hardship for this gentleman?
Well, you don't have to have a hardship to waive a law. You don't have to. Where do you come up with that idea? Because just because it doesn't fit, his circumstance doesn't fit, like this other one that you complained about with this gentleman with a divorce case. It's a 2-acre tract or something. They're cutting it in half, and the judge ruled. I mean, I know you hate the word waiver, and there's other people that hate the word waiver, but I am proud to be able to look at a law and say, hey, you know what? Or hear somebody's argument and say, this doesn't fit. That's not what the intent of the law was. So I'm honored to be the person to say, that's not what the law is for. This person has a good heart and a good intent. And I'm glad to do it, because if you would take away every waiver, then I would want to abolish every law that we have. Because if you can't just put people in the box like. So I hope I answered your question.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Councilman Erdy.
Yeah, I'm kind of like in the middle of the road on waivers. Been that way since I took office, and I just feel like when you have a sincere, and I've had a couple hardship waivers, I lean that way because it's truly hardship. And then I've gotten some ridiculous waivers asked to me, and you just have to let that kind of go out the window because it's just not acceptable and never will be. But the catch here is when, and I've talked to John and other people, you get somebody that's kind of in the middle, and we said this much, and I'm not advocating that we okay this or not. Let me make that clear right now. But our goal was to make Livingston Parish an easy, better place to live. So every waiver is going to be a little bit different, and you got to use your common sense. Say, I can't do this, or yeah, I got to go with this because, we're trying to improve this parish. We're trying to make it better. So you either turn it down with your it becomes a common sense more than a law. So we have to do it that way. And so I just want everybody to know that that's the way I think it, and I hope somebody just maybe agrees with me.
Thank you, Councilman Erdy. All right. That's it. Cast your vote. All right, that passed 6 yeses, 3 noes. The 3 noes are Councilman Coates, Councilman Erdy, Councilwoman Sandiford. All right. Adopt a resolution to authorize a waiver of Article 13 mobile home park definition to allow a third address for mobile home on .948 acres tract for Ulysses auction located at 33448 LA 43 Albany, parcel number 0135277, lot YA-2A, Council District 9. Councilman Erdy, floor is yours.
I've been on this for quite a while, and I found out after we had this on the agenda, and we was going to discuss it tonight, that this constituent did not have all the paperwork and ducks in a row, so I have to pull this one.
All right, so we're going to pull this. Did anybody want to speak on this? Or are we going to wait till the next? If you want to.
Adrian Borderline, 8489 Beechwood Drive. First and foremost, a definition is a black letter law, so you can't really waive a black letter law, but be that as it may, according to Google Maps, there's already 4 trailers on this property. 4. So now you want to add a 5th one? Well, that's right. But I'm just saying, it's the request. There's 4 trailers on it. By definition, that is a trailer park. Thank you.
Okay. 19, adopt a resolution requested by the Infrastructure Committee and Administration in support of the R.W. Burgess Express Highway and Highway 449 south from LA 190 to Black Mud project to start in conceptual design and also to include these projects into the capital outlay budget. Councilman Gall. Actually, I'm going to give it to him. Ready to go, Mr. Burgess.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm going to need y'all to work on this wording here.
So what you had before you, it came through the Infrastructure Committee meeting to get support to move forward with the expressway, the R.W. Burgess Expressway, which would connect from Lockhart Road all the way to Elner Road, and also to start the work, same type of work for LA 449 connector extension, from US 190 down to Black Mud Road. What we've proposed, and everybody's been so far behind it, is these are new roadways for the parish to start helping move traffic. Number one, the R.W. Burgess Expressway is eventually built out and hopefully built out in a period sometime down the road. Like I said, it's first phase, but built out to be able to connect the north end of the parish and connect two high populous areas between Walker, Denham, and Watson. Be expressway with limited control of access along this to be able to move traffic down. The first concept of that first phase, again, is where I explained from Burgess from Lockhart to Arnold Road. What we're proposing is to get to what we call 30% plans on this particular project. This will include required servitudes, required surveys, required environmentals, give the concept plans, and get plans to 30%, which would show actually a 4-lane roadway to that area, between those two areas. Same likewise on 449 extension, same concept plan, environmentals, 30% design showing a 4-way median roadway connecting that area. This will get us to, again, a 30% design. And that way the parish council here and the parish can see what the concept improve this. The 449 connector will also, most of you know that right now, currently, there's a lot of construction, heavy traffic that goes through Walker. Hopefully, the eventually full build out of this particular area will take that heavy traffic off of Walker, put it into our economic corridor area there, where it goes to LEDC and where they have their property there north of 190, and also potentially make connect south across the interstate and connect south down toward airport. That's a general broad stroke of the whole project. Mr. Robert Dugas has had a lot into it. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that part. Mr. Robert Dugas has had a lot of input on this also, along with Mr. Ricky and other people in this project. So once we get to 30%, the goal is then to just basically put under construction the 2-lane portion aspect of it, the R.W. Burgess Expressway and LA 449 extension. This will get your first connector, first part of your traffic in that sector. This also takes in mind that being cognizant of the budget and everything that we have, that the parish has to put into this, and make sure we're very aware of how much spent on these. With as Mr. Ricky has always said, have a plan work. This will give the plan, to give the forethought, allow people beyond those who may be not sitting here 10, 12, 20 years down the road of what we want to do for the parish to get ahead of the curve with everything coming in. So, guys, I'll try to take it down to 30 seconds, but I was a little bit long on that. Bob, thanks, good. By all means, if y'all have any questions, I'm
sure there's plenty of questions to go with it, but is this, so we need to adopt a resolution, right? All right, Councilman Goff.
I'd like to make that resolution. I'm not going to go into no more details. If somebody has questions, I'll be happy to answer.
All right, Councilman Goff's got he's made the motion. Second by Councilman Coates. Casheville. All right, that passed unanimously 9-0.
Thank you very much.
All right, no problem. Adopt a resolution to schedule the meeting dates for November and December 2026. As we do, we're going to move them. This is a resolution to move them instead of the 2nd and 4th week of the month. It is the 1st and 3rd week of the month for the council meetings. So is that, do we have a motion? Got a motion by Councilman Mangus.
Second.
Second by Councilman Goff. Go ahead and cast your vote. All right, that passed unanimous. All right. Finance Committee.
We had a Finance Committee meeting earlier. I think most of the people here were here. So if y'all have any questions about the finances, feel free to reach out to them, but everything's looking really good. Do y'all have extra copies or like of the what y'all present to us can make sure to count all council members?
We all have it.
Okay. All right, good. All
All
right,
right.
good, thank you.
Infrastructure?
That's all. Infrastructure, y'all saw what it is, and we're gonna continue to move forward with forward thinking, make a plan, work a plan, and try to put our parish in a position to where we can handle some of these construction problems or congestion problems.
All right, ordinance committee?
I think we're going to have a meeting on Tuesday. That's the 1st. I know Mr. Erdy said he might not be able to make that, but hopefully Mr. Shavers can make the Tuesday the 1st. And I got that date right, Miss Caroline. Tuesday is the 1st, right?
Tuesday is the 1st.
Okay.
I don't know if I got me. Just letting you.
Okay, let's see if you can, because Wednesday we have the PJAL, and Thursday they have planning and zoning, and they're off on Friday. So, let's try to shoot for that.
Okay.
If not,
Ordinance committee,
for ordinance committee,
Tuesday.
Councilman Mangus,
Yes.
if I can't make that one, I can make the next one.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. District Attorney's report?
Nothing to report.
All right. Go. Oh no, you made a show the last time. Councilman Watts, what do you have today? You don't have anything, Mr. Watts? All right. Councilman Goff.
So, we've been on our chairman for the last several meetings, and as long as we've been up here, as far as I know, and he's been chairman, he's always started at that end of the table. So that's why he's giving us a hard time down here, but I have nothing, no comments. Thank y'all.
Oh, I am starting on this end every time. Councilman Mangus.
Hey, I love Livingston Parish. Have a great week. Thank you.
Councilwoman Sanford.
I have something to say. So Trunk or Treat is coming, South Park Trunk or Treat. Former Councilman Bubba Harris started this Trunk or Treat in 2016 after the flood to give the children a place to trunk or treat, because we were pretty much a mess that year. And so what he started continues, and this year it is on Sunday, October 25th. So if you would like to come and set up a trunk or a tent or whatever, come on out. Contact me. My contact information is on our website, on the council's website. The backup day is October 27th, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks.
All right. Councilman Erdy.
Yeah, I got a couple hours here. The Hungarian Festival, the Harvest Dance, this September 25th, 26th, 27th. 3-day event starting at 5 p.m. Friday till 10, and then Saturday morning again, 10 till 10 at night, and then Sunday again, 10 till 6. Okay, we have 50 or more vendors already in. We've got midway rides this year for everybody. Like a fair, like a ride. And like a ride.
Like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Okay.
So is it like a ride or is it a ride?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a ride.
It's a wild ride down there in Hungarianville.
Food, all foods. You can come stay the whole weekend if you want to. You know, but it just starts, and it's going to be. It's a festival now. You know, we're labeled as the first festival. How do you explain that? Festival. We have a fair. Label the festival. The Harvest Dance.
All right. That's awesome.
We've grown in leaps and bounds. Just said, hope a bunch of y'all can make it one of the 3 days.
All right. Councilman Shavers.
Nothing.
Councilman Coates. Councilman Wascom.
I wish you'd have started on this end. No, I'll be real quick. I just want to let everyone know September 5th, 6th, 7th is the Labor Day weekend. Pickleball Kingdom is having a big tournament. So if y'all play pickleball, feel free to go out to Walker and sign up. And they got these big rings you can win for the championship. So And I hate to brag about Walker, but Walker's did a good job by getting it in there. So.
All right, got a motion to adjourn? Got a motion by Councilwoman Sandiford, second by Councilman Mangus. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nope.